There's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't end in chaos or closure. It just lingers. It's when you love someone who never really loved you back. Not in the way you needed, not in the way you imagined, not in the way your heart kept hoping they would. You keep replaying the moments in your head, searching for signs that maybe they did, that maybe you just missed them, that maybe love was hiding somewhere between the lines, but deep down, you know it wasn't. I used to think love was something that could be earned, that if you showed up enough, gave enough, cared enough, someone would eventually see your worth. But I learned the hard way that love doesn't work like that. You can't make someone feel something they never felt. You can't convince a heart to recognize yours, no matter how deeply you show it. The truth is, when you fall for someone who doesn't love you back, you're not actually in love with them. You're in love with the idea of what it could have been. You fall in love with potential, with hope, with the story you built in your mind. You fall for the version of them that smiled at you once, or said something that felt real, or showed a glimpse of the person you wanted them to be. You fill in the blanks with emotion. You make excuses for their coldness. You start believing that maybe it's your fault. Maybe if you were just a little better, they'd love you too. But that's the trap. Because your love isn't being returned, your heart starts turning love into effort, into pain, into proof. You start thinking that the harder you try, the more likely they'll finally see you. But love doesn't grow from effort alone. It grows from reciprocity, from energy that flows both ways. When that energy only flows one way, it doesn't build love, it builds exhaustion. And the saddest part is, people who love this deeply often come from a place of emotional hunger. Maybe you grew up having to earn affection. Maybe you learned early on that love isn't freely given, it's something you have to chase. So when someone gives you even a little warmth, your whole being attaches to it. You hold on to that drop of affection like it's an ocean. You start confusing crumbs for love, and that's how you lose yourself. You start accepting less than you deserve because your mind tells you it's better than nothing. You start romanticizing pain because it feels familiar. You keep waiting for the version of them that exists only in your imagination. And it hurts because a part of you knows the truth, but another part refuses to let go. It's like an addiction, the rush of missing them, the fantasy that maybe one day they'll wake up and realize what you meant to them. But they won't, and that's not because you weren't enough. It's because their heart was never open to begin with. Sometimes people just don't have the capacity to love, not the way you do. And that's hard to accept because we always think love is universal, that everyone feels it the same way. But some people see love as control. Some see it as fear. Some only know how to take it, not give it. And when you meet them, you keep trying to pour love into a cup that has no bottom. You keep draining yourself, thinking one day it'll be full, but it never will be. There comes a moment, though, when you finally stop trying. When you stop replaying the messages, stop checking if they've watched your story, stop wondering what you could have done differently. That moment feels like death at first, like losing something that defined you. But in truth, it's not the loss of love, it's the beginning of freedom. Because you finally see that love doesn't have to be this heavy. It doesn't have to break you to be real. When you love someone who never loved you back, the lesson isn't about them. It's about you. It's about realizing how much love you carry, how deeply you can feel, how much heart you have to give. But it's also about learning to give that love somewhere it can grow, starting with yourself. You have to grieve the fantasy. You have to accept that the version of them you loved never really existed. You built them from hope, from need, from loneliness, and that's okay. It means you believed in love even when it wasn't returned. That's not weakness. That's your capacity for connection. But now it's time to use that capacity on something real, on people who choose you back, on moments that fill you instead of drain you, on a life that doesn't revolve around someone who couldn't meet you where you are. Because real love doesn't confuse you. It doesn't make you question your worth. It doesn't ask you to prove yourself. It feels calm, safe, mutual. It builds you, not breaks you. And once you taste that kind of love, from yourself first, you'll never go back to chasing people who can't give it. Maybe one day you'll think of them again, and it won't hurt. Maybe you'll even smile, not because you miss them, but because you finally understand. You were never unlovable. You were just trying to love someone who wasn't capable of receiving it. And that's not your fault. It never was. If you and I are anything alike and you want to keep walking this path with me, then subscribe.